Hello everybody, my name is Patricia. I am a first generation Beatles fan and you're watching a little Beatles Corner. Today I thought I would do a little video and show you what I was able to get autograph wise from the Fest for Beatles Fans that was just in Chicago this past weekend. Now I did go on Saturday, which is the busiest, and you know, people who go think it's the best day, so it was pretty crowded. It had a very good crowd, and I got to see everything I wanted to see, and I got the autographs that I wanted to get, so all in all, I'm pretty happy, so thumbs up for that. Now, before I do get started in showing you what I did get autograph-wise and a couple other comments that I want to make about the fest, I do want to thank everybody who has subscribed. We're still growing. It's still a great community. I just heard from somebody from Peru. Hello out there. And first generation fan just reached out from London, which I thought was great. So I thank you all so very much for your kindness and sticking with me. And like I said before, I think this is our channel that's, you know, belongs to all of us. So okay. Now as far as the Fest for Beatles Fans go, the first thing I did when I started shopping was I had to get two books that I didn't have, and they were Bruce Spizer's books. And for people in America, you all know who Bruce Spizer is, and you know, he does all kinds of Beatles stuff, and so he has a brand new book out, and this is hot off the presses. He's doing these album-centered books now, and he's going through the whole catalog of the Beatles albums, so that's the first one that's out. And when you go to the fest, you know, since he's there, he signs everything for you. So I did get it autographed by him. And if you go on his website, beatle.net, and order from there, you can also get your book autographed from him. So you know, I don't buy these books off Amazon, which I'm sure they're there, because I like to get them autographed if I can. So this is the second book I got. It's an older book on Sgt. Pepper, and this is the only other album one I did not have. For some reason, I procrastinated for a couple of years about getting it, and so I thought, well, I better get it now. So then this one was signed also. So those are the two books that I bought. Now, when I went out to the main hallway, there's a place where they have tables set up, and the main guests come out at designated times for maybe an hour, hour and a half to sign, you know, their things that they have for sale if you want to buy, or things you want to bring with you that you want them to autograph. So that's, you know, when your chances of doing that are. So you have to kind of fit that in your schedule. So the first thing I did was I went to visit Chris Odell, and I did post a little video that's not that great, but that was my first time trying to do a video on the run. So when I got to her booth, I saw that all she had available was her book. Now I have two copies of her book autographed, and I didn't need a third one, so I'm like thinking to myself, when am I going to get her to sign it? You know, so I didn't have anything. So when I was there, I just, you know, had the program, and they have a little blurb about each guest, so I had her sign her name next to that. Now, I was pretty disappointed with that because I don't want an autograph where it's hard to see, although it's nice to have. But so then I'm thinking to myself, well, what am I going to get for her to sign? So I ran into the dealer room, and luckily there's one dealer who I always deal with. He had one copy of George Harrison's single, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. And of course the other side is Miss Odell, which was a song dedicated and written about her. So I went back there and I had her sign her 45. So now that's Chris Odell's signature on the 45. So that made me a lot more happy than I originally was. So I did tell Chris Odell, as you can see in the little video, that she really needs to get some photos of herself on the rooftop. She would make a ton of money, you know, if she did that. People would buy those to have her sign those. So anyway, she was such a nice person. I really did enjoy meeting her. Now the next person I went to stand in line for was Freda Kelly. And of course everybody knows Freda Kelly is the fan club secretary that worked for the Beatles forever. And so she had some photos for sale, like little postcards, and she had like a replica poster of her DVD. So for myself, you know, I've seen her before and I do have a couple postcards signed by her. So I just went for this. It was $10 to buy. And so she signed it there. So that's what I have for myself for her. Now for one of the YouTube people that I'm friendly with, her name is Polly, I offered to get her Freda's autograph too. So I went for two different postcard kind of things. Now this is a larger one with Freda with the guys in Magical Mystery Tour. So that was $5. And then this one was $5 too. All the cards were $5. And so I had her sign this one. So, and then I had something I brought from home, which is so little, but I wanted her to sign it, so. It's an old newspaper thing from England, I think. And it's just as an advertisement for the Beatles fan club. So Freda was nice enough to try to squeeze in her name up top for me. So those are the Freda autographs that I got. Now I do have a video I haven't posted because it's not perfect either. There's times where you can't see Freda, but you can hear her because I'm trying to talk to her, hold the camera and, you know, pay attention to talking to her. It just didn't go perfectly well, but there's some nice footage in there too. So I don't know if you want me to post it, I will, as long as you understand that it's not anywhere near as good as it should be. But I was able to ask her a couple questions about the Cavern Club that I was really wanting to know about. So she was so nice too. So anyway, so Polly, I've got 3 different things here. So you let me know what you want. If there's anything that's left over, I'll give one to somebody else in the group. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know what Polly has to say. And Polly, I'm also going to give you my program with Chris Odell signature in there. So you got to contact me and tell me where to send it. Now, then I went to Lawrence Juber's booth, and he was selling, you know, all CDs. You know, he's got many CDs he's put out with acoustic songs that he plays, all Beatles music. So this is the newest one, and he did sign it, although it's a little dark, but he did sign it. It's got some nice songs on there. And actually he's outside of Abbey Road on this photo. Now I do have the vinyl of this I got from the Fest For Beatles Fans. I actually ordered it, and so he did not have that there, so I was glad that I did get the vinyl copy of it. So I don't know if it's available or not, but the CD is. And I paid $20 for that. And then I went to Billy J. Kramer's little area, and he also has a new CD out called Are You With Me? And there's a video that goes along with this. I think you can look this up on YouTube. It's called Are You With Me? And it's Billy J. Kramer going around Liverpool, running into different people and kind of singing along. And it's just kind of a light video, but you can see some of Liverpool in there. So if you're interested in something like that, go check out his new video, Are You With Me? And so he did sign it in the, you know, inside. Now, the last thing I got signed, you know, because, you know, the Wings guys were there, Lawrence was there, and Steve Holly was there. I had to figure out what to bring, so I brought my Back to the Egg old album, and so I had both of them sign it. So while I was there at Lawrence's booth, he signed it for me there. And then Steve Holly signed it also down by where he is on the front cover. So I got Steve Holly's autograph for free, and I paid $20 for the CD from Lawrence Juber, so I got 2 autographs for that. And so, you know, it's like, if you want to say $10 an autograph, I think that's pretty good. So my only thing was I wanted to keep the shrink on, which has been on for years and years and years, but I had to sacrifice that in order to get the autographs on there. So now, so that was all the autographs that I actually wanted, so I'm glad I got them all. There was Randy Bachman was there, which I didn't bother getting. And then Mickey Dolenz was in another area altogether, and he had his own little room. And actually, I never got to see Mickey Dolenz at all. I didn't run into him. I didn't see, you know, him on the main stage. I was too busy doing other stuff. So anyway, I do have Mickey Dolenz's autograph on a CD, so it didn't bother me one way or another. Now, as far as what else I did there that I wanted to pass along was I saw a couple movies. Now, the first one I saw was Chris Odell. There was a premiere of part of her new movie written, you know, screenplayed about her and her life with the Beatles and growing up before the Beatles. It's very interesting, but they only showed part of it or half of it or so, and my understanding is that whole thing is going to be out in September. So if you're a Chris Odell fan or you want to learn more about a Beatles person and Beatles history, you can look out for that. And then I went to see another movie that was called Prefab. And it's a story that Colin Hanton, who was the original drummer for the Quarrymen, did with another, you know, in conjunction with another author, and told his story about the Quarrymen, you know, the formation, who left the group first, second, third, and how eventually Colin Hanton was the last one to leave the group, and then the Beatles became the Beatles. So there's a movie out about that, and that was the best movie because there was old footage of old interviews from all of them, and some of them are no longer here. And then there was a performance at Strawberry Fields, I think it was, where they all got together and did something. And I do have a CD, I think it's the same day. But that was interesting to capture all the Quarrymen together and hear their stories. So anyway, I found out through this that this actually came out in 2023. And so you can go to www.prefabthemovie.com and kind of look this up, because I think you could probably find it to stream it somewhere. It's well worth seeing if you at all are into the, you know, understanding about the Quarrymen and whatever. Now, Colin Hanton did write the book with this author, which I do have. I bought this from Strawberry Fields maybe a year ago or so. Must have been a year ago, because it would have come out maybe the end of 22 or 23. And I actually got it from the Strawberry Fields in Liverpool. I ordered it, and I'm glad I did. And it's got Colin Hanton's autograph, and then the author's, the other author, whose name is Colin Hall, his autograph too. So, and that's Colin Hanton kind of today. So this is a book about Colin Hanton a lot from his point of view, but he does tell the story of the Quarrymen, so that was pretty cool. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is I did see a Zoom call that was hooked up by Mark Lapidus with Peter Jackson in New Zealand and Michael Lindsay Hogg, who was probably in LA. And they had a long conversation with each other that was well over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. And they talked about a lot of fascinating stuff. Now, one person has already asked me whether the idea, any information coming out about the Let It Be DVD being available soon. And as far, because Peter Jackson actually asked Michael Lindsay Hogg this. He's a very inquisitive guy, Peter Jackson. He wants to know everything. But anyway, Michael Lindsay Hogg said Disney so far hasn't shown any interest in wanting to put out a DVD, so there's no hardcore information to say that there won't be one or there will be one, but there's nothing in the works right now. And so I'm telling you that for people who, you know, kind of wanted to know about that, as we all do, because we all like a copy. So that's one thing that they did say. Now, I did actually video that whole thing, and it was well over an hour. And I videoed the screen where they were talking or whatever. And I'm willing to post it, but I'm not entirely sure whether legally I'm able to or not. I don't know. So if anybody has a YouTube channel and knows about the legalities of these things, I would really like to know. You know, in a way, I don't think it's any different than me filming Freda Kelly's interview on stage. It's kind of the same thing, so I'm kind of thinking it would be okay, but I would really like to know before I would get in any trouble. But it would be well worth, you know, kind of looking at and listening to if you're into, you know, they're pretty friendly, those two, and there's a lot of information that's passed between them, and I'm sure you would like to know. So, I don't know, if somebody could let me know and guide me, that would be great. Okay, so that is it for today. Now, the next video I do, unless I post a Freda one, which I may, even though it's not that great, will still be the Deso Hoffman photograph collection that I do have, which will probably be in maybe, I don't know, 2-3 weeks or so. So anyway, I thank you all for sticking with it, this whole thing, and I appreciate you all, and you're all the best and the most important people in the world, and of course the Beatles are important too, so you know, long live the Beatles.